Hi there, I am Evey Schweig.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Ellen Zung.
And we're both certified holistic health coaches with a common passion for educating, guiding, and inspiring people to live their best lives through healthy lifestyle choices. This TAKE20 program is a way for us to share current health topics in a short 20 minutes that will help you improve your health.
And by participating in this program, we hope to inspire you to take steps to live your best life.
Right. And in this and future topics, we'll discuss ways for you to improve your health through eating a healthier diet or upping your physical activity, maybe getting better sleep, maintaining healthy relationships, looking at your career, and even stress management.
Yeah. And if you've missed the monthly topics and want to check them out, you can find them on our recordings on our Facebook group, which is called Tips for a Healthy Lifestyle with Evey and Mary Ellen, or on our YouTube channel, TAKE20 Tips.
Right. We're so excited to be able to have that TAKE20 Tips YouTube channel for everybody to see past things. Mm-hmm. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the importance of daily routines for good health. Mary Ellen and I have developed routines in our journey towards health, and we thought that it might be a fun thing and a good thing for us maybe to share so that we can concentrate on those routines that support your good health. Mm-hmm. So shall we start?
Great.
All right. So the first one we wanted to talk about were routines for good hygiene. So I'm sure everybody knows what good hygiene is. I mean, basically keeping yourself clean, but also keeping your environment clean. And this is for many reasons. Some of them are social reasons. Some of them are for health reasons. Generally, we were taught good health routines when we were kids. I'm sure you remember your mom or saying, go put on a clean shirt, or did you wash your hands, or did you brush your teeth? All of those things are habits for us now and come naturally. So as I mentioned, a lot of these are social. They're social reasons for doing this, but they also prevent the spread of disease, such as keeping our clothes clean or taking a shower, using deodorant for obvious reasons. We want to do that. But some are for health reasons, such as brushing your teeth and flossing. And that's something that Mary Ellen and I were talking about, that it's not readily obvious to people, but when you brush your teeth, yes, it does prevent cavities, but it also prevents gingivitis, or infection of the gums, inflammation of the gums. And even more than that, even more than keeping your mouth healthy, it helps to keep our bodies healthy, because there's been a correlation between heart disease and periodontal or gum disease. In fact, periodontal disease, those people with periodontal disease are twice as likely to have heart problems. So that and diabetes and even cancers have been associated with general good brushing hygiene. One routine that I have taken up more religiously as I get older is making sure that I wash my face at the end of the day. As you know, your skin is one of your biggest organs of detox and immunity. So it's important to keep that healthy. So that's one thing that I've tried to get much better at doing. Hand washing is a very obvious one. So we know that that helps prevent disease. In fact, 80% of infections are spread by dirty hands. So we were talking about this, right, Mary Ellen? The idea of singing the birthday song twice to know that you're washing your hands long enough. And I don't know about you, but since we've been doing this, I've been really trying to do that. It takes a long time.
It is a long time.
But so those are all just general things for your body, but also we want to keep our environment and our home clean to prevent disease. And one of the ways to do that is to be better about maybe taking your shoes off at the door, so you're not bringing in all that dirt and pollution from outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know, Mary Ellen, did I
We
forget
do that
anything?
all the time. We take off our shoes. It's just automatic. First thing I do when I come in the house, wash my hands. It's funny you mentioned the deodorant, because Sorry, everybody. I don't wear deodorant. um, and I stopped wearing deodorant years ago, just because your skin, absorbs all the chemicals and
Yeah.
toxins, and it's also like an indicator for me if my nutrition is off or something is
Ah,
off in my body. Not to get gross, but
yeah.
I can
It,
smell.
yeah.
So if I'm clean, if my body's clean, it's I don't even need deodorant. I mean, unless I'm, at the gym, and that's more like a uh, if you're sweating.
Right. Yeah, but then if you shower afterwards,
Yeah,
you are cleansing.
yeah,
So you really shouldn't have that much of a problem.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
with that.
So
Ooh,
you
something
want to
we
be
didn't know
courteous.
about Mary Ellen.
Sorry, you want to be a little courteous to your neighbors, right?
Right. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
for sure.
So let's open it up to our listeners. Is there anyone out there who would like to share maybe one of their routines? If you want to chime in, you are able to unmute yourself if you go into the participant box there, and just unmute yourself. And we'll wait a second to see if anybody chimes in.
You can always use the chat box if you didn't want to unmute and talk. You can
Good
always ask a
point.
question throughout. I probably shared too much already, but it's okay.
No, that's what this is all about. Because, it's things like this that we don't tend to talk about that
Hmm.
are really important.
Yeah, the little things, the little routines. Yeah.
Right, right.
Okay.
Well, maybe
So
we should go on.
that was the first one. So the second one, no surprise to anyone, a good sleep routine. So having a nighttime routine before you're actually in the bed is really important. And then just
Right.
getting that 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So many studies have just shown that this is crucial for your health and your longevity, preventing disease, even lowering stress. Um, so, just having your body function properly, because all your organs need to rest. So, figure out when you have to get up in the morning to, fulfill your responsibilities, your job, or whatever, and count back 7 to 8 hours. But then you want to probably figure out what your nighttime routine should be. So turning off the electronics, maybe taking a bath or a shower, maybe reading, winding down, checking your calendar, making your lunch for the next day, making your
Mm.
breakfast for the next day, putting out your clothes for the next day, setting up the coffee maker maybe, or your smoothie supplies. I always like to make my smoothie the night before and have it ready to blend up real quick in the morning. Maybe you like to read, so that's a way to wind down at night.
Mhm.
So having enough time at the end of the day to do that before you're actually getting into bed. Journal writing is a great routine. Also,
Mhm.
I don't do it every day, but if I'm feeling like things are changing, or I'm confused about what's happening, I'll pull the journal out of my desk, or my nightside table, and just do some writing. Maybe you want to do deep breathing, or some meditation, or some yoga, or yoga nidra, which is great for breathing, getting ready for bed, just stretching, gentle stretching on the floor. But yeah, that first thing that I mentioned, turning off the electronics,
Yes.
is so key. I mean, so many people tell me that they keep the TV on and they get into bed and they fall asleep with the TV on. And they swear that that's the only way that they can fall asleep. And really, that's the worst way to fall asleep, with
Right.
all that blue light and excitement to your body. So give
Right.
yourself that, little extra time before you need to actually get into bed and fall asleep, and you'll have better sleep. So many of us just don't sleep well. So having that nighttime routine before you get into bed can
So
really
important.
help a lot. And, if you have any questions about that, we can definitely talk about it.
Yeah. And I found that you reading a book is so much better. So the blue light, like you said, it activates the brain and excites the brain and keeps you from going to sleep. So reading a book, I immediately start reading a book and I'm out.
3
So
pages, that's all I can do.
yeah,
I'm out.
that's good. The other thing too, I was never thought about, but the thing with the TV is if someone needs some background noise, I'm wondering whether a radio might be better, softly put on a radio, especially with music, whether that might be a better solution than to
Yeah, or
actually.
you have those sound machines too that play
Yes,
like, white
I
noise
have.
or, waterfall or rain.
I
So
love that.
that's
Yeah,
another.
I actually have one of those next to my bed, and I do. And deep breathing too. Like I will purposely just slow down my breath as I'm getting into bed. So that
Great.
works.
Awesome.
Cool. Anybody else have any routines you want to put it into the chat box? We are happy to read those off.
Yeah, anything around sleep or.
Yeah, I know. Maybe at the end too, we'll open up and we'll have everybody, if they have any questions too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll just go on to our next routines, which are for nutrition, which is a topic that is near and dear to Mary Ellen and my hearts, because it's what a lot of what health coaching has to do, along with these other things. But for me, healthy eating is the basis to good health. It helps improve the way you look. It helps improve the way you feel. So we really should be thinking about the routines around food. And in our society, we just don't tend to spend the time to think about this. So one of the things that Mary Ellen and I talk a lot about is taking time, carving out time for nutrition. And one way to do that is to pre-plan and, just finding out if you have some time during the week where you want to set aside, an hour or two to look through some recipes and decide what you might want to have during the week when you're busy and you don't have time to cook. Because when you're busy, the first thing you're going to do is think for something quick and you're hungry. So you're not going to be making your best choices. So making a meal ahead of time over the weekend, or even just chopping up vegetables or prepping, salad fixings is enough to have at least a healthy entree with your meal.
Mm.
So, and one of the things that I found in doing this, one of the things that really has helped me is stocking my pantry, making sure I have some standard things that I know in, last minute that these items will always be there so that I can pull together a healthy meal and maybe use up some of the vegetables or something that's in the refrigerator. Which comes to another point. If you're buying these healthy vegetables, one of the things that I learned is to make sure that I am storing them properly, washing them properly, and putting them away. So that's another routine that Mary Ellen and I talk about quite often about doing. What else? Go ahead, Mary Ellen.
No, I just noticed that I get the Consumer Reports magazine, and they had a whole thing about greens and E. coli and all the bacteria and the viruses.
Right.
If anybody gets that magazine. But this is something I learned from Evey, and she washes her greens in water and vinegar.
Right.
And that's what it said in the report as well. That's the best way to kill
very good.
the germs and bacteria.
Right. Yeah. And it helps wash off the pesticides very effectively.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing too that I found very healthy is even though you have these foods in your house, if they're out of sight, they're out of mind. So one of the things that I like to do is put out on the counter those foods that are good for me. So I'll put out fruit, for instance, or healthy crackers, so that if I'm looking for a snack, that's what I'm reaching for. The other thing I do is water. So water is a very important part of a healthy diet. So what I will do is put a pitcher of water out on the counter. So every time I pass by, it's kind of a mental, oh, aha,
Mm-hmm.
let me just grab a glass of water.
Yeah.
So all good.
Yeah.
So one more thing. The other thing too is talking about wasting vegetables and whatnot. One of the routines that I do is every now and then I'll go through the refrigerator and look for things that might be on the, going towards the end. And I'll take those ingredients and I'll use the Google
Mm-hmm.
to look for a recipe. So, if you have beets and chicken and peas and you don't know what to do with them, if you put in those ingredients, I bet you there's someone in there who has made a recipe with those
Mm-hmm.
ingredients in it.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to try a new recipe or try a new food, or even try a new way of preparing it. This is a great time to take out your slow cooker or your Instant Pot and try experimenting with that
Great.
for an instant meal, right?
Yeah, good. I just wanted to say that Tracy
Yeah.
chimed in with something that I'm not too familiar with: blue blocking glasses
Yeah.
a couple of hours before bed. So that's helpful for like the TV or your computer. Um,
Right.
so thanks, Tracy, for
Yeah.
that.
That
Yeah,
was a great idea.
yeah. So the next is stress management, and I know I'm looking at the clock, so I won't take too long on this, but um, one of my routines for stress management is, so that I'm sort of in control of my day and I understand what's going on for the day, is, and my priorities, right? Because that's what's going to help us be successful and happy and not frustrated in life, is
Hmm.
if we have our goals and our priorities first and foremost and put them in the calendar. So putting your workouts in the calendar, putting time for cooking or prepping in the calendar, putting time for your yoga or meditation in the calendar, and also setting an intention for the day. So looking at the day and understanding what the day is all going to be about, and having a plan for
Right.
the day and an idea of the outcome for the day.
Right.
So otherwise we're sort of going through life willy-nilly. So
Right.
being
Right.
intentional and having a goal and a purpose is so important. Having a purpose in life is one of the most important things based on the research as far as health, happiness, and long life.
One,
So
one of my favorite things to do, Mary Ellen, is to make a to-do list, because then I can check it off. And that for
oh,
me is such a stress reducer,
yeah.
because I don't have to keep thinking about it to remember all the things I had to do. It's right there on paper.
Mhm.
So that's another
Yeah,
little
but
trick.
getting in, like that's great, having a to do, but just being like really like intentional is like a whole
Mm-hmm.
different level, instead of, yeah, but I do that too, make a to-do list.
Right. Right.
So
So should we go on to our next one?
great.
So the next routine is for exercise. And I think, Mary Ellen, you touched on it. The biggest thing that I would say for exercise that has helped me is to put it on the calendar.
Mhm.
I treat my exercise just as I would any appointment, as if I had a doctor's appointment, and I honor it just like any other appointment, because to me it is that important. In fact, when I went back to school and studied to be the health coach, that was one of my priorities, was that I would not interrupt my routine. So do that. Do something you like is important. I think Mary Ellen and I both find activities that we really enjoy doing, and we look forward to doing it. And I know I like to go to groups where I get to see my friends. That's another incentive to go. Another incentive about signing up for a group program is you pay money for it. So I find that that gets me there too, because I know I've already paid for it.
Mhm.
So and if you prefer doing the gym or something like that, then make sure you have your things prepped. I actually have a bag with all of my spin clothing in it. So all I have to do is pick up the bag, and I know I'm not forgetting anything. And of course, make sure that water bottle is nearby as well.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's something I always fill up my water bottle before I leave the house. It's
Yeah.
always with me. Yeah, it's always in the car. Yeah.
All good. Yeah.
Good. So the last healthy routine is all about relationships and connections.
Hmm.
So we know that having those healthy relationships and connections is so important to our health and happiness and longevity in life. So making them a priority, and sometimes it's challenging, but
Hmm.
just a phone call, or maybe planning an outing. If you haven't seen someone that you love for a while, give them a call, send them a note, meet up for lunch, or send a birthday greeting. But just setting a schedule time each week to connect with family and friends.
Right.
I used to
Right.
do that on Sundays to make sure I'm connecting with everybody.
Right. I know it's so important. Lunch is a great one, just kind of getting together for lunch or coffee.
Yeah.
So, so we are, running towards the end of our meeting today. If anybody has any routines that they'd like to suggest to us, we can unblock after our last little note that our next TAKE20 is going to be on March 10th, and we're going to be talking about spring foods to detox and lighten up. So I'm hoping you all can join us for that. We're looking forward to it. If you are interested in connecting with us, you can reach me at evie.schweig@me.com, and Mary Ellen.
Coach Mary Ellen at outlook.com.
Right. Or you can IM either of us through the Facebook page, which are tips for a healthy lifestyle with Evey and Mary Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be sending information on our program coming up in the spring called Metamorphosis, which is a 5-day detox program. So we'll keep in touch that way. So shall we unblock everybody and see if we have any questions?
Great. Everybody's unmuted. Anyone
All
have
right.
any questions?
Oh, come on. Someone must have a question.
Or comments or anything else?
Or
anything that we mentioned you're going to start doing, or
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is there something that we mentioned that didn't occur to you that you might want to try?
Or if you don't want to speak up, you can always put something in the chat box. I know we're running out of time, but you can certainly put something in the chat box. Anybody? Oh, she muted herself. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we are going to, we've recorded this and we will put this on the Facebook group. And if you have any questions, at all, please go to the Facebook group and we'll see you then. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good night.